Hello everyone, I am Dr. Kishan Rao. In this session, I'll be discussing about some of the time-tested ideas and insights for developing competency and also how to excel in any competitive entrance examinations. Excellence refers to being the best of yourself, whereas success means being the best among others. Excellence is not achieved overnight. It's a culmination of all the efforts put in from the day one. So, a little progress each day adds up to big results. So, what is ABC of life? For to do anything in life, first we have to conceive an idea. We have to decide what we want or how we want, and then firmly believe in it, and then definitely you could achieve it. So that is the ABC of life, and we become what we believe. It is such a profound statement. Whatever we are today, it's because of our beliefs. So it is one of the strongest systems, belief system, which can make us anything and everything. To do to achieve anything in life, first of all, we should have an envision. The envision refers to the ability or imagination about the future, future perspective. What's our goal? What we want? How we want? So we should have an envision about that, and then we should have a plan accordingly. We should have a suitable strategy for that. For example, after in childhood, we decided, or we had a dream that we should become doctors, right? Yes, that is an idea we conceived during our childhood or maybe in the school days, and then we firmly believed in it. Yes, I am going to be a doctor one day soon. I'll become a best doctor. So we believed in that, and all our actions were accordingly. We put our all best efforts, and now we could achieve it. Similarly, the next step now to get a or grab a PG seat of our desired in a desired branch. So after this conceiving the goal, we have to plan accordingly. We should have a suitable strategy for that. This depends on what stage of study we are in. We are in maybe in undergraduation, first year, second year, third year, fourth year of MBBS, or we may be in internship now, or it may be post internship phase. So accordingly, we have to make a plan. So if you are in a undergraduation days, we have to make a detailed draft of a plan wherein how can we complete all the subjects, MBBS subjects, understanding the concepts thoroughly, and along with simultaneously solving the MCQs. In the internship days, if you are starting, we have to be a little bit quicker reading the synopsis of the subjects, whatever we have already read during our undergraduate days, and also solving as many MCQs as possible. In the post internship days, it's a full time it's available for us to prepare for any PG entrance examinations. So we have to use the time judiciously and act wisely. Next, after a proper planning, we should set short, achievable, and realistic targets. That I mean to say, we have to set a short-term timetables for ourselves. Yes, we have so 19 subjects to read or revise. So we have to make a timetable for each subject. How are we going to read it or revise it later on, and how are you going to cover the entire subject and the topic wise? So we have to set. It should not be too short or it should not be too lengthy. It should be very much achievable targets. So after that, after this, now that we have the idea, we have the entire plan, and we have firmly believed in it. And next is all about execution of the plan. Here, the main key factor is consistency. Yes, have a consistent method of study and be disciplined and organized in your studies. And in our studies, we should be accountable. I mean to say, we should be responsible for whatever we do. Should not procrastinate at all. We should not put off our studies, like day-to-day studies, just for some excuses, or we should be very reasonable to give any excuses. So accountability is the important feature or a factor uh, which plays a vital role in our studies or day-to-day practice. After that, we can slowly start finding the progress in our studies. There is always a scope for improvement, my dear friends. So I would suggest you not to compare with your fellows or your friends. Instead, compare within. Mean to say, see, no two students can be alike. So you can't compare unlike things, right? You can only compare between two like things. So always compare within. Last time I had scored 50%. This time I have to improve or than that. That should be your aim or the progress levels. So never ever compare with others. That will lead to demotivation. So after having a plan and started to inculcate our plan, first and foremost thing comes to our the issue comes in front of us is how to solve an MCQ. Yes, this is definitely a very important aspect of our PG entrance examination preparation. How to solve any MCQs? So in MCQ solving needs a lot of practice. Yes, this is a definitely a different strategy, unlike our preparing for our university examinations. You need to get the idea. It's an art. MCQ solving is an art. You cannot solve a MCQ directly in the on the exam day. So you need to practice to master this art. So first and foremost thing in this is time management. See, in the exam you will be having 200 questions supposedly. So how to manage time? That you have to write this in say 3 hours. That is 180 minutes, 200 questions, for example. So what we do? Divide the questions into 3 rounds. The first round you will answer only yes or no type of questions. Mean to say whether you know the answer properly or not. If you know, immediately take the right answers and go for the next. Okay, no any spending extra time recollecting or solving some problems and all in such questions. Your first round of questions will be very easy level, okay, and which you know clearly the answers. So that in the majority of the questions, maybe say 80 to 100 100 questions out of 200 will be that range. So that you can finish within say 45 minutes in the beginning. So on the one more advantage is you will go through the entire question paper once. So what happens many a times, it so happened 72nd question may be the clue or answer for your 43rd question. So many a times we get a lot of clues or hints from other questions as well. So if you go through the entire question paper once, with that you can solve many other questions as well. So first you finish off the first round of easy questions, then come back again for the second round. In the second round, you will solve those questions which you know answers, but which will take some time to solve it. For example, there are some like calculations to be made. There are some logical reasonings to be made. In such a situation, you take a little bit of time in each question and mark the right answers. Again, 30 to 40% of the questions will be of that range. Maybe 40 to 60 questions will be belong to that range. That also again you can finish it in again for 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. So 1 hour 45 minutes over. Next you have another 1 hour more, and you have to solve another 40 questions. So these 30 to 40 questions are belong to tough range. Here what happens? How to solve these tough questions means you don't know the answer exactly. Then how to deal with that? Okay. Now you look at the question properly, read it again, and look at the all 4 options. In among the all 4 options, if you can rule out 2 of the options, no, this is not, C is not at all possible, and B is also not possible. You have a doubt between A and D. then go for it. Go for any one of them, because the chances of you becoming right is 50%. So take a chance and go for it. If you can't rule out any one option, say you don't know about A or B or C or D, in such a situation, or only one is not possible, even then don't go for it, because the chances of you becoming right is only 25%. So by this, the rule of ruling out the options, you can solve that difficult round of questions, 30 to 40 questions in say 30 to 60 to 80 minutes of your time. So if you calculate the times like this and solve the questions in all three rounds, then you can manage the time very well, and you will be able to reach the till end of the question paper very easily and comfortably. Or else what happens, most of the many times you'll be stuck in the beginning of the question paper itself. First initial 10 question may be a bit tougher ones, and you spend most of your times there, and it so happened with many of my friends or juniors, they are unable to reach till the end of the question paper. Who knows, last 20 questions would be the most easiest, and you knew the answers very well, but unfortunately you couldn't reach till there. So this should not happen. So please manage the time very well, and for this you need to practice a lot. So keep writing as many tests as possible, so keep solving as many MCQs as possible. Similarly, in the beginning of the preparation itself, we need to solve some previous year question papers. This is not for the reason that the same questions will be repeated, but we'll get an idea what examiner is expecting, how the questions will be framed, what topics are stressed more, and from which nook and corner of the books they are picking the questions or speaking the exact lines. So these kind of ideas when we get, when we read, after that we will give more importance to those areas. So this will be very much helpful once again. So solving previous year question papers as much as possible. And third one, as I already mentioned, you should have your own strategy for solving MCQs, which I opted was always read the questions carefully once or twice. Make sure that you all never miss that negatives like all except or all those negative questions, and go through all the four options, because it so happened nowadays in exams all the four answers will be correct. Okay, so for say, what is your name? The answer will be Kishan Rao B, Dr. Kishan Rao B. I look at the first option A, Kishan, yes, it's my name, and I go for it. But yes, it's the right answer, but the best, most appropriate answer is D. It's my full name, Dr. Kishan Rao B. So always never get biased by the options. So always go for all the four options, and whichever you think is the most appropriate one, go for it. So we have this tendency to see the first option and directly go for the marking. Please never ever do that. Always see all the four options, and only then you mark the correct one. Some of the common mistakes as students we commit in or during our preparation are not solving enough MCQs. Yes, we give more significance or importance for reading as much as possible from as many resources as possible. But the matter of the fact is, we have to give equal importance for both reading as well as solving MCQs. Both knowledge and master the skill of MCQ solving, both are equally important. So yes, read from standard books, and simultaneously keep solving MCQs as much as possible. And one more thing is referring to the multiple sources, the fear of missing out. You will be reading one book, your friend says that book is good. Again, you will, with the fear of you may miss out some important things, you will read that book also and some other book. So at the end of the day, what happens is you will not have that photocopy memory, or in different books it may be given differently. So it will lead to more confusion and commotion rather than convincing. So stick on to any one good book or two standard books, okay, and read it regularly and revise repeatedly. That's the again solution for you. Read regularly and revise repeatedly. And yeah, one more mistake is not allotting enough time for revision. Let me tell you the importance of revision. One of the, again, the common mistake is we keep on reading till the last minute of your exam. Keep on reading as much as possible, all the possible resources, but we never tend to revise whatever we have read. So our brain have a common tendency to forget things. See, as per the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, our retention levels are immediately when we read something, it will be 100%, but after 20 minutes, it reduces to 58%. And after 1 hour, if you ask me how much I retained in my memory, it's only 44%. And it declines to 36% after 9 hours. And next day, it will be only 1/3, that is 33% of the memory will be retained. So after 1 month, it will be merely 21%. So what we need to do is, we have to reinforce our thoughts with repeated revisions. So what happens? A stronger bond, synapse is formed, so that our temporary memory will be converted into permanent memory and retained permanently in our hippocampus. So please, you devise your own study strategy so that it involves more of revisions also. What I used to do is, during my preparation days, or whenever I study, the whole day, if I study something, after my dinner or so, I again just glance through my pages which I already read, which are marks, which are the parts which I highlighted. I again go through them, so that then and there itself there will be first revision. The second day, when I start reading, I'll again go through the previously whatever I studied once. Quickly, I'll glance through them, the highlighted part, and then I start reading the new fresh. So 2 revisions already done, and after 1 week, again I'll give a look to whatever I read the complete week, and after 1 month, if possible, once again. So by revising in a periodically, regular intervals, you can, whatever you have read, even for your university exams, if you read even 50%, it's more than enough to pass. If you're thorough with your 50%, you are read only 50% of your syllabus, and you revised it thoroughly, and you are pakka with that, then that's more than enough to clear your exams. What I mean to say is, it's not important to cover everything, all the books. It's more important to revise whatever we have read repeatedly, or else it so happens it's just like a newspaper reading. After you read the entire newspaper, you will not remember anything. In fact, it so happens in the examination, if you have read only once, during when you see the question, you feel as if, oh, I have read this question, but I'm not able to recollect it properly. This will lead to more anxiety and more of thought blocks and more of commotion, rather than you're getting the clear picture of the answer. So never ever do that. So revise repeatedly to have a good memory as well. Some of the frequently asked questions by the students during the PG entrance preparation are, sir, which book to read, which book to refer for entrance examination? Dear friends, there is no one standard book for any examination purpose. Almost all the books contains same knowledge or same content, but only difference is in presentation. They are presented differently in different resources. So you should realize what is good for you, which is convenient for you to study, and which suits your study way, and buy that particular book or 1 or 2 books and read that. Stick on to it. Don't keep during the beginning 1 book, or near the exam 1 more book. Don't do that. Okay, stick on to 1 book or 2 books for a subject and read it completely, comprehensively, and repeatedly. That will fetch you better results than going for multiple sources or multiple books. And how to read a book. As I mentioned, if you are in undergraduation days, go through all the concepts clearly, make your concepts clear, or during the internship or so, then you can just go through the synopsis of every topic, and then you can start solving the MCQs as much as possible. And after the internship also, if you are preparing, again, you need not go through the entirely all the books or so deeply, but know the main important topics or the synopsis for the entrance exam purpose, and solve as many MCQs as possible. This is the way to prepare for any entrance examination. When to revise? Sir, when to revise, sir? So the answer for this is repeatedly and regularly. Yes, as I told just now, revision is the key to retain or to recapitulate or have a good memory. So as and when possible, okay, as and when possible, keep revising whatever you have read. And how to concentrate while studying. Yeah, this is often you commonly come across issue with all the medical students is they are not able to focus while studying, sir. Yes, many distractions, right? We have so many distractions around us. So you decide what you want for yourself. You will study hard for 6 months and get a PG seat immediately, or you study in a very cool manner with all the luxuries around, and you will waste 2, 3, 4 years to just get a PG seat. So that you have to decide. You are matured enough to decide for yourself. So focusing, when it comes to the matter of focusing, see, when your fresh mind is very fresh in the morning, start reading a new topic whichever you like or whichever you plan, and for every 1 hour or so take 10 minutes break so that your mind gets some relaxation or a break to comprehend whatever you have read. And after your routine studies, have enough sleep. Yes, very very important. See, as you all know, the physiology of memory or the CNS system, if you are read or worked 16 hours a day, brain requires another 16 hours to process it. Yes. So if you are read for 8 hours, brain requires 8 more hours to process it and store it. So give our brain enough time and space to store whatever the knowledge you have input. So again, concentration in the evening time or in the night when you are reading, you may feel sleepy. So keep yourself awake. You can just do this for yourself, or you can ask your friends to make you alert if you are feeling sleepy. And don't take so many tea breaks or coffee break and loiter all around. This will simply kill your time. And never ever do the night outs, please. This is my sincere request. Never ever do the night outs. This will not this not serve any purpose. Instead, the next day will be wasted. You will feel that whole day I have read, and the next day you will take rest. But the night also you will intermittently you will be sleeping, and your concentration power will be not that good. And the next day also you will just waste the whole day sleeping. So never ever do that. And sir, during the last 1 month or so, what to do? Whether should I solve more MCQs or I just revise the notes once again? It's a good question, but my answer would be to do both simultaneously. Yes, you have to keep revising from your notes, whatever you prepared for yourself, and simultaneously you should keep solving MCQs also. What you I suggest for all the aspirants before last 1 month before the examinations, you know your timetable, like when is your exam and what time is it. If it is say 9 to 12 is your exam time, then what you do best is at stop 9 o'clock in every morning, sit in front of the computer and start one grand test. 9 to 12, solve that 300 questions or 200 questions, whatever the pattern you have. Okay, so what happens here is, more than practice, our brain get acclimatized. Hope you all know the concept of acclimatization. How much you're energetic you are, how much you're enthusiastic you are. You cannot climb the Everest at one go. Correct? You have to get acclimatized by climbing smaller mountains, and only then you can climb the Everest finally. Similarly here, at one go, we cannot sit in front of the computer for 3 hours and solve all the questions. It requires a lot of practice. So to acclimatize your brain, to focus constantly for 3 hours, you need to give it a lot of practice. That too, if you do it in that particular time only, your brain will be alert at that time. The 9 o'clock sharp, the alarm begins. Yes, exam time, exam time. So between 9 to 12, your brain will be so fresh, alert and focused and oriented. The exam day, you will not have any apprehensions, any anxiety, no thought blocks. Only there is no change between your previous 1 month and that exam day. Only it's a matter of change in place. All the other days you might have studied in your library or your the room with the computer. This day you are sitting in another place with the same computer. That's all. That's all. And similar set of questions there also, here also. So your brain feels so comfortable and so relaxed, so that you can, whatever you read, everything comes in front and you can solve with confidence. So, and one more question asked is, how many hours to read? This is again subjective, my dear friends. There is no, I should say, quantity doesn't matter, only the quality matters. So, we have to realize our own capacities. For one student, he may have to read twice to understand one topic, whereas for another student, he may have to read 4 times to do the same. So, that second person has to put in more efforts to put in more hours of time to understand one topic. So, accordingly, you realize your own capacities and work hard accordingly. So, there is no fit or what to say definite time period for any studies. It's up to you. You can utilize the maximum hours you can dedicate for studies and give equal importance for rest also. This is a very famous quote by Abraham Lincoln, which I use very often and which I like the most. It is, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. How apt it is, right? So, proper planning and disciplined approach and execution of the plan are keys to achieve anything in life. Dear friends, so prepare properly, have enough time or dedicated time for preparation. If you do that, on the exam day, you will have no repentance or no regret. Okay, so so my formula for success is hard work plus self-confidence equal to sure success. Yes, success can be temporary or permanent, but if you have the combination of these two, that is, there is no alternative but for hard work. You have to work hard if you want to achieve something in life. So, hard work, along with that, self-confidence also equally important. Many of us have studied hard, but they lack confidence. Yo, no, I can't do this. This is not my cup of my tea. I can't get into AIIMS. I cannot get into any premier institutes. Or I cannot get a good branch. All this the self-doubt is the biggest enemy, dear friends. So don't have such confrontations or procrastinations. Okay, just compare with your previous achievements. Yes, if I have got into medical science means now why can't I take another PG seat now? Okay, so have always optimistic thoughts and be confident in whatever you do and whatever the thoughts you have. That belief, that confidence itself will take you further and will lead you to any success in life. With that, I wish you all the success, and I also say that prepare to be the best doctor and serve the needy patients. Thank you so much.